Well, Carling, it is such a pleasure to talk to you today. I'm really excited about hearing what you have to say about the BIg Break Sandals. So before we get into that, could you please tell the listeners a little bit about your background and how you got into golf and how you got into the BIg Break?
Well, it's wonderful being on with you, Gail. And I started golfing when I was about 10 years old, and I played with my older brothers and my dad and my mom every single day in Ohio. It was over 32 degrees. We played. So we were a big golfing family, and I wanted to be a professional golfer since I was just 5 years old. And then I won the state championship, and I played golf at Ohio State, and now I'm on the Futures Tour. And I've been watching the BIg Break for so many years, and I've always wanted to be on it. I kind of wanted to show the world what it was like to be a diabetic golfer on tour. And they came out to one of our tournaments last year, and I auditioned, and I guess they liked what the little diabetic girl had to say, and I made it on the show.
The little diabetic girl sounds like she's a pretty strong chick, so I know you're on a pump, and you obviously take good care of yourself. And how much has the diabetes impacted your game? You obviously have it. You got here. You're working professionally in it. But what's the impact been on you?
Oh, it's always been a struggle to be diabetic. I mean, any diabetic can tell you that. You have to watch what you eat, and you have to monitor your blood sugar constantly. You can never take a day off, which can always be tough. And I'm really excited that I was on the Medtronic insulin pump. I just switched over to it about a year and a half ago, and it's really helped my health and helps me monitor my blood sugars, and I can turn it up or down when I'm on the golf course. So it's really helped me in my diabetic aspect. But still, I still try to eat healthy and run around the neighborhood a few times if I ate too much, and I try to do a good job.
Well, I can hear you. I have a very good friend who's diabetic and looks after herself very well, and obviously you take good care of yourself as well, so that's great. And you know, and it shows up in just the way you appear on television. You're very upbeat, you look wonderful, and you obviously have game, which let's talk about that now. Last week's show, you actually showed a serious daredevil side of yourself in the 12th hole second challenge, where you decided not to keep your first shot, but to go a second time and came inside that. Tell us a little bit about that show, what you thought of it while you were there, and what you thought of it after watching it on TV.
Oh, Gail, I was so nervous. I remember everybody dreams of being on the BIg Break, and then they have the nightmare that they were kicked off first. So, I mean, everybody had the jitters when they were there, and I remember showing up, and when I had hit that first chip in the challenge, I just assumed that everybody else hit it to a foot. I was so nervous that I wasn't even thinking straight. I forgot that everybody else was nervous like me. But in the end, I'll tell you the truth. I'm a hack. I'm a total hack, and I love my short game. And I thought, you know what, I can do better than that. And I felt confident that I could. I didn't think I was gonna fail. So I thought it was a smart decision. Other people might call me a twerp, but it seemed to work out okay in the end.
I don't think anybody would call you that, Carling. Well, it was an exciting show. Watching Elena go from the biggest high to the biggest low, it showed that anybody can go at any time. What did you feel like at the end of the day after all of the drama occurred that day?
Oh, at the end of the day of the first episode?
Yeah.
Well, it was shocking to everybody how Elena started so great, and then she fell and ended up getting kicked off. So it actually put a lot of fear in everybody's hearts, because they knew that any of us could go at any time. So nobody really slept very sound that night. Yeah.
Well, it was pretty quiet the next day, i.e., second episode. We show up, and it looks like, we're back to the short game again and the up and down. Now, you picked the 50-yard shot with most of the ladies, which sounded and looked like to be the smart move. And that putt of yours was just awesome, causing you to turn into the dancing queen. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I picked 50 yards because, 6 or 7 girls picked 50 yards, and I thought, well, at least one of them is going to get up and down from there, so I better go back there and do it too. And like I said, I kind of hacked it up there, and for some reason, I guess the putter got hot, and I drained a few, and gosh, I was so excited, and I wasn't sure if I should dance or if I shouldn't, because I tend to celebrate my good shots when they happen every once in a while, so I just sort of hopped all over the green for a minute.
Well, it was great TV, so we have to thank you for that. Oh, we don't want to see just people standing around, looking tired and nervous. It's nice to see some emotion there, so it looked great. So then
you hit too many bad shots in golf. You have to celebrate the good ones. It's what I think.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with you. Well, you got to do the send save, and how long did it take you to actually pick Maya? Did you know right from the beginning it was going to be her? Did you seriously look at everybody and weigh all the odds and come up with her?
I knew right from the beginning that I was going to save somebody. Because, no matter how nice everybody is on the show, I didn't want to be the first one to send so early and have 10 girls hate me all of a sudden. That sounds horrifying to me. So I thought, I'm going to save someone. And I thought about it for a while, and after a little bit, I kind of thought, I don't really know Maya. I know a lot of the girls are really good, and I'm going to take a chance and save Maya, and hopefully my game can match up to hers.
Well, that sounds good. Now, given what you just said and the strength of the other team, at this point in the competition, who did you think your biggest competition was?
At that point in the competition, I thought that Sarah Brown and Ryan O'Toole were the biggest competition because I've seen them play in college and I've seen their stats. I've seen Sarah play for 10 years, and she will poke your eye out with a stick before you let her beat her. So I knew that they were going to be tough out there.
Oh, yes. She'll be even tougher when she knows you said that she would poke your eye out with a stick.
Well, Sarah's very nice, but she's a great golfer and she's very competitive.
Yeah, no, and that's cool. That's cool. Well, when you had the save send, you were walking behind the players at the tee box when they were practicing. How much of that was encouraged by the producers to play up that whole power trip that you had with that card? Did they actually encourage you to do a little bit of drama for us?
Not so much. They kind of said, here, why don't you take the sign and just walk around and talk to the girls. And so I just walked around and I talked to the girls and I just asked them how the swing was going. At that point, I'd already made my decision. I didn't mean for it to come off as me stalking everyone like Tiger on the prowl. I was just kind of hanging out, having a good time, chatting with the ladies, but I sort of, for an instant, forgot that they were under an enormous amount of pressure still. So maybe I could have backed off just a bit.
It sounded in Stacy's interview that she was a little bit put off by it, but I'm sure these things come and go.
They do, and we're still all very good friends on tour, and we know that, it's tough being on the big break, and you say things you don't mean sometimes.
No, I perfectly understand that. Well, you got to watch things for the first time on the show this week, and you got to see the Elimination Challenge. Anything you want to comment on what you saw with the long drive contest and that Elimination Challenge on the 18th hole?
Well, I already knew that Ryan O'Toole was going to be a big competitor, but I'm glad I wasn't there to see her rocket 265 into the wind. So I feel like I would have been way more intimidated by that girl. So it was fun to watch that part of the show, and it was a shame to see Kelly go the way she did, because she really was a solid player, and it looked like the nerves just kind of got to her that one moment, and it's a shame she didn't get to stick around longer. She would have been an interesting add to the cast, but it's a big break. It's unpredictable, so I'm just going to take it for what it is.
Oh, that's for sure. Well, is there anything that you wanted to close with in today's interview about what you've seen so far, or anything you want to talk about what happened after that day or during that day while you were out sunning yourself? Anything I didn't ask you that you want to mention?
Not really. I went on the big break and I just tried to have the best time that I could, and I enjoyed the girl. I really enjoyed the girls the whole time I was there. When I hit good shots, I danced, and when I hit bad shots, I cried. So go easy on me, America.
Okay, I think that was a perfect closing, Carling. Thank you so much for taking the time today to chat with me, and I hope we can chat again next week.
Okay, thanks, Gail.
Okay, take care. Bye for now.